There's a Chicago website that's all about Chicago, and it's appropriately titled DNA Chicago. There was a great article on there last week about how the mayor is a huge music fan. He listens to music all the time, except for, I hope, right now. We'd like to welcome back to the show our mayor.
Let me turn the music down now.
Rahm Emanuel. You don't have the music up. You have it down now, right, Mr. Mayor?
Pete, what's happening, brother?
There was a great article on you.
Well, it's not about me. It's about the music I enjoy.
I love it. How much time do you spend listening to music? When you go to the office, when you're in your car, when?
All over the place. I listen on the car, ride in. I have both my iPod in the office as well as a CD player, and I have friends who burn some CDs for me. And so I listen constantly. In fact, I spend more time turning it down when I have meetings in rather than my favorite part is when people leave so I can put music back up to the volume I enjoy.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that because it said in the article on DNA.
We're just rocking and rolling in the fifth floor, baby.
I love it. Well, it says in the article that, like everyone else in Chicago, you got a guy. You got a music guy. So everybody's got a guy in Chicago. Even the mayor has a guy.
Hey, it's Chicago, man. Everybody's got a guy.
Everybody's got a guy. And it also said that you're going to Lollapalooza. Is that true?
Yeah. I mean, I will say this. One of the cool parts, last few years running, and I suppose they did it before, but, I've now hung it in my office. All the artists sign a guitar, and they give it to the mayor.
You're kidding.
At the end of Lollapalooza. No, I have these two incredible guitars. First of all, the guitars are not, in and of themselves, they're like great items.
Well, of course.
And second, they're obviously the value, I'm not just talking monetary, artistic value is enhanced. Every lead artist signs the guitar. So I have them hanging them on the wall. So
last year it was Black Sabbath. Did you see Black Sabbath at Lollapalooza?
Last year I introduced the Black Keys, and then I saw Florence. So I'm trying to think. This year I'm going to go see Mumford & Sons. The kids we're already got the schedule out. We're picking what we're going to do.
You're just like any other parent. I love it. But you probably have, I'd like to go with you because you have the VIP experience where you don't have to wait 20 minutes to go to the bathroom in a porta potty.
Well, first of all, you don't have to wait 20 minutes, but you do have to go to the bathroom in a porta potty.
Right.
It's a mayoral porta potty.
So if we go to Lollapalooza, we'll see the mayor rocking out.
It's funny you say that. Over the weekend, Amy and I took our little one to the United Center.
Okay.
She said, last night I learned at dinner I embarrassed her the way I was rocking out.
Oh, no.
My friends behind us could see what you were dancing. So I'm under strict orders. I can enjoy music without moving.
Are you a dancing challenge? Do you have a problem with rhythm?
No. I mean, you are talking to, first of all, I want every dance contest at a bar mitzvah. You are talking to a former Joffrey Ballet dancer.
I know. I'm sorry. As that came out of my mouth, I remembered.
That is an insult. Okay. This interview is now over.
We're talking with Chicago Mayor Rahm Emanuel. Now, I want to get serious for a second, Mr. Mayor. Yeah. Issue that you're concerned about, we're concerned about if you live in the city of Chicago, of course, with the shootings. You just banned assault weapons.
We made our assault weapon ban tougher. And also, we made the fines. So if you bring a gun or commit a crime on a school safe passage route, you pay a stiffer penalty now as if it's right within the block of a school. Because when kids start to walk to school on that route, that's the beginning of where they're supposed to think of their studies, not their safety. And I want all the gang members, anybody carrying a gun, to know that there'll be a stiffer penalty in that zone. Our kids are our future. We cherish them. You're not allowed near them. I mean, I was proud that Illinois was the only state in the nation that did not have a concealed carry, but the federal court ordered us to do it. And so given that, I know the legislature tried to craft a law that had under court direction. So therefore, New York has one. I think there has to be things that are, if you're going to have a concealed carry, that are sensitive to what goes on the streets of Chicago is not what goes on the streets of Cairo, Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's nuts. But that said, we had a window, and I wanted to pass a tougher assault weapon ban. The legislation allowed us to take a 12-day window, so we did that, and then the tougher penalties on our school safe passage routes. Now, the fact is, our shootings this year are down 310. Actual shootings declined. We've had 76 fewer homicides. Our overall crime is down 15% to some of the lowest level. That said, the police need stronger gun laws to protect the communities, and our communities need stronger gun laws.
Right.
The weak link in our anti-crime effort, our anti-violence effort, I would say, is our gun laws. And we need, like New York, a 3-year minimum sentencing for all gun crimes committed with an 85% truth in sentencing. That is, we have 1 year. And many times, people committing gun crimes are back out on the street in 6 months.
Right.
They serve the full sentence. I mean, the shooter, 2 examples recently. First of all, in the last 6 months, over 100 cases of people who should have been in prison were on the streets committing crimes and victims. The shooter of the 5-year-old at the park served a minimal time on sentence. Had you had a 3-year, he'd have been behind bars. Michael Ward, I'll skip what I think of him. They shot Hydea. Should have been behind bars. Goes out on the street because of minimal sentencing.
Right.
Now, I don't know. And now the good news is when NRA testified about our assault weapon ban, we have a different view. They agreed with that law. New York has seen farther reductions. It is time that I'm going to go down. I said to Springfield, we almost got it done this year. We have to finish the job. So our police are facing more and more guns on our street. Therefore, we need gun laws that reflect the battle we have to protect our citizens, our children, and our families.
How do we get to the next step where you have that 3-year minimum where you go to prison?
We got to pass it in Springfield. Springfield's got to wake up. And the good news is our law enforcement community wants it. Unlike the assault weapon ban where the NRA is on the other side, the mayor wants it, the police superintendent wants it, our communities want it, our faith-based communities want it, and the NRA want it. That's a broad-based coalition. That should give people enough political cover to go pass it now.
Right. Mr. Mayor, what do you think of Bill Daley running for governor?
You should ask Bill Daley. The mayor's focused on being mayor.
Got it. We're talking with Mayor Rahm Emanuel. You know, last week I had Isaiah Thomas on my show.
Oh.
And he talked about the Inner City Hoops, you know, the league that you two started.
I went to over on the west side at Christ the King High School, I went to a peace basketball game between two games. And I got there a little early, so I sat and talked to Isaiah. This is about a year ago. And I said, well, why don't you come into my office? About 10 days later, towards the end of November, he came to the office, and we hatched this idea. We announced it together. In about a week, we raised $500,000. So we keep our park districts at 11 facilities. We keep them open Friday and Saturday nights. We serve, we thought we could serve 800. We're serving like 1,400 kids. It's been overwhelming response. There's coaches, there's referees, there's timekeepers, there's police officers. It's a safe space for kids on Friday and Saturday night to go play basketball. Everywhere you go throughout the city, we have more kids than we can. I mean, I could set up 30 of these if I had the funding.
Right, I love it.
Isaiah's been great, and he and I were in Kennicott Park on Friday night. And I've asked every one of those kids, if you weren't here, where would you be? They say, out on the street.
Right.
We got 100 kids off the street, good kids. They just want an opportunity to play basketball with their buddies in a safe place. There's a police officer, coaches, there's mentors, there's adults who care about these young men.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Mayor, I asked Isaiah if he still got game, and of course he said yes. How about you? I know you grew up a dancer. Do you have any game?
I have game, but it's rough around the edges. I'm a better dancer than I am a basketball player. I'm a great basketball fan.
You're a great basketball fan.
Yeah.
What do you think Isaiah's biggest regret was when he looked back at his career? What do you think he said?
What do I think he said?
Yeah.
That's not for me to answer. I mean, I'd be interested in what he said, but I think he has a lot to, I don't know what he said, but let me say this on his behalf.
Okay.
I got a ton of athletes. They make the money and they forget who they are and they forget where they came and they forget where they're going. I give Isaiah immense credit. He's gone on after basketball. He's getting a graduate degree. He didn't forget where he came from. He's come back to Chicago, and he is mentoring these kids, playing basketball, helping me do what I got to do. I don't know what his regret is about the past, but I am such a proud person, and I am such an admirer of his ability to remember who he is, what is the values his mother taught him, and where he's going. He still knows the name of his coach from the Park District.
Oh, yeah.
So my view is I don't know what he answered to that question, but I can tell you I wish a lot of our athletes today looked at him and said, that's my role model. I know if kids look to other athletes, that's my role model. I want the other athletes that are playing today to look at Isaiah Thomas and say, that's my role model.
Well, he loves Chicago, and he couldn't say enough about it. And, of course, he talked about his family and friends. But his biggest regret, he goes back to high school, St. Joe's losing in the state finals to Lockport. He can still go right back to that game right away.
It's funny. I've never lost an election. It's funny he says that. I've never lost an election that I've run in. And I've obviously worked with President Clinton, President Obama, two Democrats that won re-election, which were unique given FDR. I still remember the first election, a college kid I was working on, in which we lost. That tells you what a competitive gene is.
I love it.
I really want to say something. Izzy, former Chicago Bear player, put him on the library board. He sponsors 12 after-school programs. When he got traded to Detroit, he called me and said, don't worry about the program. I'm not pucking up roots. I'm committed to the children of the city of Chicago. I want all our other athletes to look at Isaiah Thomas, look at Izzy. Maybe I need only athletes here with the letter I in their first name, okay? But I'm serious.
Yeah.
I want them to look at it. Don't forget where you came from. Don't forget where you're going. And don't forget to put your arm back and pull somebody else's hand through the door of opportunity you walked through.
That's one of the things that you don't hear about Israel Adonijah. He does so much charity work, and he still continues since he got traded to the Lions.
I was just at his event the other day,
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Friday night.
Mr. Mayor, I appreciate you taking time. I know you got to get going. Did you get your workout in today?
This morning I woke up and I did my mile. This is my third mile swim this week, and I biked 4 right afterwards.
I'm going to work out after the show. Mayor Rahm Emanuel, thank you, sir. Good to talk to you again.